Welcome everyone to another episode of Sempre Inter TV. Today we'll be going over the draw between Roma and Inter, which ended in 2-2. While you're here, remember to like and subscribe, and also share your comments down below if you agree or disagree with anything that myself or Jake will be mentioning in today's video. Also give us your thoughts on how you thought the game went.
Well, the first half, in one word, I'd probably say disjointed. I think going forwards, no real symmetry. The same plan seems to be just hit Lukaku, get bodies round him. It is successful when it works out, but not all the time. Chris Smalling had a pretty solid first half. He was good up against Lukaku, got the better of him a few times. And then you're struggling, aren't you, really? When everything goes through him all the time, you're struggling to get bodies around in other areas to actually create a different type of chance. A couple of missed chances. Lautaro missing a really key header on the penalty spot. Good cross to pick him out, and he probably should have done a lot better with it. It was a header off the top of his head that went nowhere near the goal in the end. In terms of the goal, you can point fingers at the goalkeeper, potentially. But for me, that's a little bit harsh. It did take a big deflection. If the shot hadn't have took a deflection, it probably would have just rolled through to him or been a comfortable save. And Roma were having the best part of the game at that point as well, so it probably was fair to see them go in front. There was no foul on Barella either. Really good tackle from Veretout, actually. So Inter can't have any complaints there. But they finished second half stronger without really creating anything. It all, like I said again, just comes down to that lack of creativity, real disjointedness, one paced around the back, sideways football, hit Lukaku, and if you can feed off him, that's great. If not, they're really lacking ideas. Sensi needs to be starting games, either that or Ericsson, but we've been through Ericsson a million times, that's never going to happen, obviously. So they need to create a spark in midfield so badly. You've got Brozovic controlling it, it's a little bit one-paced, across, sideways, to the full-backs, wing-backs, to Skriniar, to Bastoni. It's just the same old, and there's no link-up up there. Unless you can hit Lukaku into no other way of attacking teams, and it's really, really poor. In some ways, though, there's no shame going to a team as involved as Roma. It's going to be tough, but it's disappointing. It's just a culmination of the same issues over and over again, and we've seen that in the first half today, as evident as it has been all season. They need more creativity in that midfield slot.
Yeah, I mean, I'm inclined to agree with you there, Jake. We were just pretty flat in the first half, and it wasn't great. Moving on to the second half, you could tell there was a marked performance upgrade in there. We just had a lot more drive to get forward and actually put pressure on Roma, which was really great to see. And the two goals came. Skriniar's first goal, keeper had no chance. It was a fantastic header. I think the fault there is on Chris Smalling for not marking him properly because he was completely free, unchallenged. And the second goal, Hakimi is just poetry in motion, that goal. Cutting in on his left foot, hit the bar and the post and went in. Again, keeper had no chance. After that, I think I think the result could be basically be blamed on Conte and his changes. To go to a 5-4-1, obviously there was precautions taken with Lautaro, taking him off for Perisic, which he did take a couple of knocks, so I can understand that. The rest of the changes, bringing on Kolarov and moving Ashley Young to the right wing, and then Gagliardini on for Vidal. That was like another precaution because Vidal did take a few more knocks as well. And then we just sat back, inviting pressure. And I mean, I think we could all tell what was going to happen then. Within like 10 minutes to go, it's it's not great, especially for a team like Roma, who you can create goals and can create openings. And then the goal coming from a short corner, team didn't react quickly enough, and it's a brilliant header from Gianluca Mancini. You can't take that away from him at all. And yeah, Handanovic was just basically a statue in goal again. But I've said enough about him. Other than that, I'm just disappointed. It was a win. It was 3 points given away, and based on how we reacted in the second half, I feel like we did deserve it. But then it's our own doing, and Conte needs to basically pick up from this and move on. That's all we can do. So my top for this match, it was a bit of a struggle really, but I think I'm going to have to go with basically our reaction in the second half. Um, the difference between the performances in the first half and those first 30 minutes in the second was night and day. It's basically a description of someone before and after caffeine, really. You can't really fault the performance in the first 30 minutes of the second half. It was just top notch, and you could tell that there was a real fire lit underneath them, and the way that we constantly pushed them a lot higher up than what we were doing in the first half. We were no longer waiting for them to bring the ball into our half before we pressured them. We were doing it right from the off, and Roma really struggled to play out from the back. So yeah, that's my top for this week. Other than that, the shout out does go to Ashraf Hakimi as well. I mean, what a signing he's been so far. By far one of the best wing backs in the league, if not Europe. If he can stay fit, he's going to be a key player for us all season. And the way he's scoring and assisting, yeah, hopefully it's a sign of better things to come. My flop for this week, I think unsurprisingly, has to go to Antonio Conte. The way he reacted in the second half. First of all, the first half of the first second half. Sorry, was good, but from like the 75th minute, 80th minute onwards, the substitutions he made, not including Lautaro, were just poor. And the change in mentality as well. The way he let us invite pressure onto ourselves into our own box against a team like Roma, who we know can create goals, as I mentioned before, is just asking for trouble. And for a coach of Conde's experience and ability and the reputation that he brings, it's completely unacceptable. We threw those 3 points away today, and it's completely on him. Um, it's really, really disappointing considering the way we reacted after half time. It looked really, really good. And then the last 10, 15 minutes were just dreadful. And I think every single person watching that game knew what was going to happen in those last 10 minutes. So, yeah, that's my flop for this week.